Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night at the Movies on the Late Night Chat Network. I'm your host, Nico, and joining me today, we got Max and JT. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys? What's up, fam?
And we figured we put out this episode here today. We've talked about it on some of our more recent recordings here, but Max had taken a bit of a hiatus for a few months away from doing the show. And he came back for this our most recent episode, which is his first pick back, that we talked about Blade Runner, which is a great episode. Make sure to go check that out. Great pick, and a lot of discussion on that one. Real banger of a pick to come back to the channel here with. I felt like and timely on it, quite honestly. Like, yeah,
it's always been timely, that one. I feel like, yeah.
But yeah, I kind of pitched this idea to Max that we can kind of do a bit of like Max catch up here with with them. And he actually was unable to join us for when we did our top 10 of 2025 episodes. So I figured this would be a good place to start. I kind of wanted to give you the chance to kind of further elaborate on some of your picks, if there's anything you wanted to say about any of them, or if your feelings have changed with your list. If you kind of want to do like a rundown and maybe quick commentary on kind of what you gave us for your top 10, because I know you weren't on that episode to kind of discuss it for yourself.
I mean, do you have any questions of yours like that you wanted to ask me? Because I mean, my list is very kind of like, did you want to, I don't know, just my list is very kind of like, it kind of speaks for itself.
Well, I did find it interesting that there was a couple of movies that just didn't make my top 10 that did make your top 10. So they were actually on my honorable mentions. But I also didn't know if that was a result of maybe some other films, because I know how busy you kind of got towards the end of the year. You just weren't able to actually check out. Thing. Okay.
So,
and overall, maybe what your thoughts were on 2025 in general, because I discussed on the show, I don't know if you ended up watching any of it. Did you watch any of it?
I did watch it.
So I kind of thought, like, at least in comparison to last year, that this was a much stronger year.
That's how you feel?
Yes.
So I kind of checked out on movies like around the same time I kind of like took a break from the show. I only went to the movies for the rest of 2025. I think we did the Collateral episode like mid-September or something.
Yeah.
I only went to the movies twice after that for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
And that was well, actually 3 times, because I saw one movie twice. So you could probably guess which one that was.
You went to see Avatar, probably.
No, One Battle After Another.
Of course.
The weekend it opened, I saw it twice.
I did know you saw that twice. Yes,
I saw it twice. The Friday it came out, and then I saw it again on Sunday, just like the following Sunday, just because I just wanted to see it again. I was like, just so kind of just moved by it.
You and Jay, both of you picked that as your favorite movie.
I knew when I saw it the first time that it probably would be. Then I watched it again and I loved it. And then I went home and, like, you know, admitting to like watching like illegal streams and shit, but I watched it a third time that same day that I saw the second time, and I watched it on like a cam quality online.
I was not surprised, just because I know how much of a Paul Thomas Anderson fan you are, and also the fact that it was a good
movie.
Yeah,
it was a great movie, and I like the reception for it was positive too. Like, people like it's probably the most attention I think he's ever gotten in his career, as far as just the enormous support.
Boogie Nights critically received well at the time?
It was critically received well too, and that was the one that kind of blasted him onto the scene.
And I know There Will Be Blood was.
There Will Be Blood too, but
by the way, this has become in my top 3 now, along with those two films. And for me, for Paul Thomas Anderson.
I need more time with it before I could kind of. I think
I put it at number 3.
I had a letterbox. I did before the movie came out. I did like a write-up, like a letterbox list. It's the only list I've made on Letterbox thus far about ranking. You can check it out. I ranked the Paul Thomas Anderson movies, and then I kind of wrote like kind of long descriptions of each one if you click the read notes tab or whatever. And then a weeks ago, I kind of updated it to include One Battle After Another, and I put it at number 5. I think the top 4 for me is like pretty solid, and that's There Will Be Blood at 1, Boogie Nights 2, Punch Drunk Love at 3, and then Phantom Thread at 4. That's just mine. And then I think maybe One Battle Enough for my climb. I just put it at 5 just to be safe. But like, it might climb in the future. Who knows?
Phantom Thread's in your top 5. Eh?
Yeah, I love Phantom Thread. That's like, that one really speaks to me. And it's not, maybe I don't know if it's to everybody's taste, but and it's not a movie that really, it's like one of those movies that came out and I don't think people really talked about as much. And then as the years are coming out, people are just like, you just see everyone is like who was into that is just like talking about how great it is. It kind of like is getting like a second life, you know.
I watched it for the first time like 2 or 3 months ago, and I enjoyed it. And he's very good, obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis in it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to put it in like a top 5.
Remember, if you watched the Blade Runner episode, guys, you said I love this. The one you said Score Bros. Me and Julie are Score Bros.
Yes,
that is my favorite score that Johnny Greenwood did. Like he's done every one of his movies since There Will Be Blood onwards, and he did One Battle After Another. The score, Johnny Greenwood.
Oh, that's great. One Battle After
Phantom
Another.
Thread is my favorite one he's done, and I'm just like I get lifted listening to that shit.
I found that he kind of did a little bit of similar. Well, I don't know if did he do Punch Drunk Love?
No, that's John Bryan.
So there's a very similar like key hitting type moment that he did in Punch Drunk Love. I felt like
with Phantom Thread
in One Battle After Another.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if I'm just I don't know if you picked up on that or if it's just my thinking of it.
You might be onto something because I think there is like a small like contributions from John Bryan onto One Battle After. I think there is. I think because
you know what I'm talking about when he's constantly hitting a key at one point and kind of like it seems like he's just fiddling around with a piano or something. Like,
do you remember the scene in One Battle After Another? It's like maybe the most talked about scene in the movie when the car chase.
Yeah.
And that fucking crazy.
Yeah, fantastic.
That fucking
Love
crazy
that
music
scene.
that's like do and it's like the drum.
And that's him.
That shit sounds like almost like it doesn't sound exactly, but it sounds very like similar to the scene in There Will Be Blood when the oil derrick blows up and and remember when he loses his hearing and then there's like that whole music. The music just takes over the scene and there's like a lot of like banging shit. And it just felt like a kind of continuation of the style that they've created, those two together or whatever. Right. I remember when I saw the movie, Alan was like not because I saw it the first time I saw it with him. He was just like, I don't like this like Looney Tunes shit. I don't know if he called it that.
Oh,
but, like,
okay.
He likes the movie. I don't think he loved it like I did, obviously. But he's like, I just thought that music was kind of annoying or whatever. But he hadn't seen There Will Be Blood, so it's just
that's
like
fair.
I was like, oh, maybe you kind of just this is kind of his style that he created over the years. Is kind of like. I always kind of looked at it almost like it's like a Coen Brothers movie, but like not dark humor and more like heart. I think more of a like an optimistic,
especially
bend.
This one. I would say,
Like I always felt like that.
He has a lot of dysfunctional family type dynamics in his film.
In every movie,
I'm starting to realize that
is about family or love. It's like one of those two, and like you know, your family is not necessarily the people you're related to, kind of thing.
Right.
And there's all this like.
Well, I know Jay, like, I think Jay, who's very much like a character guy, like, he really liked the film. If I can speak for you, Jay, I think he was his favorite film of the year, too. And I think he was just infatuated with Leo on.
Of course. I mean, I love, you know what? My favorite Leo performance is Rick Dalton from Once Upon a Time. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I feel like this one honestly matched it for me because it was like almost like an evolution of that like crazy fucking character.
I didn't even make that connection. Yeah. That's true.
He's just like this like insecure, zany motherfucker. And like
listen, man, I burned my brain. What does he say? He's like years of drug abuse.
He's like, I am a drug and alcohol lover. Like
I can't remember the fucking code. You fucking liberal fuck.
Yeah. It's like, hiya, homie. Hey, what's up, homie? It's me.
Well, that was my comment on Letterboxd where I'm like, he said, "What's up, homie?" So Tom Cruise is what's up? Hey,
homie, is that my
bitch? Yeah.
I saw that. That was a
so
great
this
review.
could run. Yeah.
And then when his daughter's friends pick her up from their place and he's just like ragtagging on that guy.
I know.
It's like not USA, and he's just like fucking bullying that guy. Like that kid is so fun to watch. But Benicio del Toro is like,
honestly, my favorite was Sean Penn. I was saying
he probably
it on that
will win
episode.
an Oscar.
Duck and roll.
He is amazing as that character, good. Lieutenant Lockjaw or Colonel Lockjaw,
something like that. Colonel Lockjaw. Yeah.
Fantastic. I haven't seen Sean Penn that good in a while.
I saw like because Steven Spielberg loves the movie. He said he saw it like 3 fucking times or whatever. He had what is it, like, you know, he interviews Paul Thomas Anderson on stage in front of like an audience. He had,
I haven't seen this. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Okay. Watch it. And Spielberg
like said, a directors on directors thing
kind of thing. Yeah, but like in front of an audience. I guess maybe they watched the movie before or after. I don't know.
Like a screening.
Yeah, like a screening of it or whatever. And Spielberg said to PTA that he says that Lockjaw is his favorite Sean Penn performance of his entire career. which I was like, whoa, like
I mean, honestly, it's
as
in the
long
mix.
as Sean Penn has been around, like that's kind of like amazing.
It honestly is for me too in the mix. That whole thing that happens to him at the end. No, but what happens to him at the end and how they like take his body and like throw him into like some sort of like incinerator or like garbage chute, it
fucking
seems like.
Semen demon.
Yeah, semen demon is like she reverse raped me or
yeah.
No, one of
That
my
was the
favorite
best, bro.
lines in the movie is when that one of those Illuminati, the Christmas
Adventures Club,
when he's like, what our job is to get rid of lunatics, haters, and punk trash.
And haters, punk trash, yeah.
I love that shit.
Well, I was saying that to Jay when we talked
movie.
about the movie. I said it's actually probably the funniest movie that's come out this year. Like despite like the subject matter, it's very funny. Very funny.
I think I noticed about my top 3. I had like one battle after another at 1, Avatar at 2. I saw Avatar actually like in January. Like I saw it after, and F1 at 3. Those are all like kind of action movies, and I was just kind of realizing that about myself, that I think like action is just my favorite genre. Like
I liked F1 a lot, but I was surprised to see it at number 3. If I'm being honest,
you know what? When I saw that movie first in like IMAX, like
Jay, you still haven't seen it, right?
No,
how does he not see
I don't
this?
know.
And he's Mr. F1.
I know. I really don't know why.
You're missing
I'd
out,
rather
bro,
watch
for real,
races,
big time.
bro. I'd rather watch the races. But no, I know what you mean. I should probably.
It's a great
watch
film.
it.
No,
it's good.
Very
It's
exciting
good.
film.
It's good.
It makes me kind of like want to like maybe check out like the real F1 now. But I saw it in IMAX like maybe like 1 week or 2 weeks after it came out. And you know what? I didn't really like. I liked it, but I was like, okay, this is kind of like a rehash of Top Gun or whatever, Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
And I still kind of feel that way, but when I watched it again, I saw it in IMAX and was like whatever, and then I rewatched it on my laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away. I guess because it took me like a second or third time to watch it, by like the racing sequences and like all like the action, the movement of the movie. So I was like, it kind of just climbed up. Like for me, it probably would have been number 2 if I had not seen Avatar, which is like amazing as an action.
Well, I mean, for F1 to throw their name on it, bro, it's got to be a certain standard.
That's kind of funny thing too. Is the movie is called F1. I just thought that was funny. It's like if they made a basketball movie,
marketing
they called it NBA or whatever. Like what the fuck? Like that's kind of funny to me.
You know what? I also I wanted to ask you about though, about this list, and I think it was absent because you may have not seen it. I'm pretty sure you've not seen Marty Supreme yet.
I saw it the day after
you sent this list.
Yeah,
good. Eh?
Do you think it would have made your top 10 if you
would have made my top 10? But it probably like where Sinners is, probably like 6 or 7.
Okay,
like around there, yeah.
Out of all their films, like where does this like? I love this movie. I've only seen.
No, I liked it.
It was my favorite movie of the year. It actually.
I saw that. No, I saw you liked it. I like it. I think I like Good Time and Uncut Gems more personally.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it was good. I think the thing is the movie was good, and Timothy is like he probably will win I think he will win the Oscar.
I think so. I think it's a safe bet.
All the sides are kind of pointing towards it.
It's a stacked category.
Me personally, I would have given it to Leo if I had my say in the world. But listen, I'm not mad if Timothy wins it.
No. Neither am I.
Yeah, I'm not mad at all. Like like he's like the next young gun up and comer. But
I mean that's what they're comparing him to.
I like it.
He's the next Leo.
And that's you know what? I almost kind of like it's almost kind of like the similar thing with Sinners for me, where it's like there's a lot of it that I like, but it just like it didn't meet me all the way there. Like it didn't get me all the way there, and I just liked. I think Good Time and Uncut Gems to me just felt a little bit more focused. Like they had a little bit more of a precision to them.
Well, I'll tell you the thing about these movies, and they're all kind of similar in terms of like their themes, but this is the only one where it's the least tragic out of all of those films. There's some sense of accomplishment of some sort at the end of this movie without spoiling anything. Exactly. And then the possibility that he's actually going to straighten his life out at the end. But those other 2 films, not the case.
Not really.
That's ultimately what does those characters in those films,
and,
right?
Like, a big deal was made about how they like split off the Safdie brothers, like because they made those 2 films.
But it still very much felt like those other movies. Still,
well, I did like some like kind of checking around or whatever, and the the Marty Supreme is co-written with Josh Safdie and then this guy Ronald Bronstein,
who worked on the other films.
Worked on the other ones. They took the same composer from the other films.
I did see that.
They took, I think, the same cinematographer too. So I think it's kind of just like they have the same nucleus, just minus Benny. I think a lot of people are I haven't seen the Smashing Machine yet. I know you have, right?
I did, yeah.
I think a lot of people are gonna like compare the two and just say that Josh is a better filmmaker. But I personally look at it maybe almost like a Coen brothers situation where, yeah, maybe when they're separate, maybe Joel makes like slightly better movies than Ethan, but I think they're stronger as a duo.
No, I agree. I mean, all the shit I talked about, seeing truly who's going to be the better like one out of these two.
I think a lot of people have said that. Like a lot of people are kind of like putting them against.
It was just interesting to see that they both did sports related films this year too. But I will say that, and I talked about it. I think when I may have talked about it when I did the top 10. The Smashing Machine was just a much more conventional film. This was the same type
more
of
safety,
anxiety-ridden like story that you get in all of those movies. The Hustle trilogy, as they're coining it now.
What's
right?
kind of crazy too for me a little bit is like Marty Supreme kind of made me realize how much of a perception there is when it comes to like acting and who's great acting, like especially like as far as like Academy and award season is concerned. Like they have like an idea of like these are the great actors and these are like the not so great actors, because I'm watching Marty Supreme and I'm loving what Timothy is doing, but it almost felt to me kind of like a repeat act of what Adam Sandler was doing in Uncut Gems, but they didn't even like nominate Adam for Uncut Gems when it came out. So I was kind of just like a little kind of
he gets snubbed. For sure.
Like, and it's just like Adam to like the Academy. Adam is not a real actor, or like not as good of an actor.
Adam Sandler has much more good dramatic roles that I've seen him in than some dramatic actors. Quite frankly, like,
absolutely.
You think of him as a comedy.
I like Timothy, but I don't know if I would say his performance blew Adam Sandler's out of the water. I almost feel like they like exist in the same stratosphere to me, like you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of funny, just like how perception of like what's great acting, what's not great, or whatever. Like it's so funny. After I watched Marty Supreme, I just went back and watched like Uncut Gems. And that movie I
just love the energy of these guys' movies. Like when I started hearing about this Hustle trilogy, I was just like, I just dig what these guys do. Like people were coining that phrase of like those three films because these are all films about guys that maybe aren't the best guys. They'll lie and push everybody out of their way in order to get what they want. And the whole films are just layered on like all this stuff that happens 1 second to the next, that it just builds and builds and builds. I'm just super impressed. I just like it. But somebody could argue though, they're like, oh, this is just like those other movies. There's nothing new here in that sense. But it's also a sports movie in a way, right?
One of the things, like, I guess one of my critiques about it, again, this is a first watch. Like,
same. I've only watched it once.
It's hard for me to like.
I loved it, but
it was hard for me to really like critique it so much. But like one of the things that I thought was kind of like just like meandering a little bit was the whole like losing the dog thing, and I was just like, I feel like this movie kind of just stopped being a movie for a second and just kind of lost.
That was Abel Ferrara, the director.
Yeah, he was good too as the gangster and shit.
Yeah, you liked it. I know you also liked it.
Like,
you watched it just under the wire.
Yeah, just under the wire.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of parts. I mean, like I look at the Tyler the Creator character that they put in there. What was the point of his character?
It was a dead end of the
like. I just feel like the movie kind of lost a little steam for me, like in the middle section.
Sure.
I just don't think it was like there's a bit of fat on there that I think Good Time I love like Robert Pattinson, like his fucking improvisation and shit.
That one still might be my favorite.
Like maybe one of my favorite scenes ever is when
we talked about it. That was off your recommendation. I didn't know that existed. I just watched Uncut Gems and then we watched Good Time after and we both liked Uncut Gems.
I remember a Good Time when they go into like the amusement park and there's like that security guard and then he like drugs him and then
I'm the captain now guy. Yeah.
He takes the cops come
Forget
and
his name.
Puts on the security guard outfit and pretends to be, and it's just like I just love this like kind of like this guy who's just doing everything.
He's
on the
dirtier character. Like he's a more of a he's like a criminal. That guy. That's what's interesting about that one. But again, the determination and the drive of all these characters is there though. But again, he was a criminal, like low life. Adam Sandler was a degenerate gambler. This guy is just somebody that wants to be a great sports. Like,
yeah,
that's
great. He wants to achieve excellence, right? And then,
which is, I think that's why it's the most identifiable out of all these characters on that level, because the other guys, you don't want to root for those guys so much, but you just get wrapped up in you do want to see them succeed. And in this film, I also wanted to see this fucking guy succeed. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I felt they were going to take a dark turn at the end, and nothing, like, even though he didn't actually succeed in anything, like, it was what he needed at the end of the day in that movie. He needed to say, I can beat this guy, right? I mean, we're in
I'm glad you liked it as much as you did.
Yeah. Cool. But what else you got on your list here? I wanted you to talk a bit about Life of Chuck and Eddington as well, because I thought those were interesting entries.
Yeah, like I said earlier, because I didn't see, I feel like all the the bangers of the year came out like maybe in the last quarter of the year, which I just didn't watch.
Right.
And to like answer your question earlier, I think I've seen less like 2025 releases than I ever saw like new releases like in my life. I feel like I saw it was actually kind of a struggle to come up with a top 10. Because like I didn't really see that many movies this 2025. Like I maybe saw like 15, 20 movies like in total, like of new releases. So like I just do think that I don't know. Maybe I do prefer 2024, but maybe because I just saw more stuff in 2024. And
I know Jay had also expressed that, and Julie, for that matter, they were kind of scraping a list together at the end there.
Well, I got to watch
Running Man. So like I think Life of Chuck.
Running Man?
Yeah, Running Man and The Life of Chuck.
Running Man, yeah, that one I missed, and I do like Glenn Powell. I probably should check that one out. But I heard not so great things. Different. But Life of Chuck, I think, was in my top 5 of the mid-year.
Yeah, you had Life of Chuck, you had number 7 out of your...
No, but like of the mid-year that we did, it was 5. It didn't really like get phased out because I just didn't watch that much stuff.
Did you end up liking it, Jay?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
That's a movie that I like.
It fucked me up for the first little while.
I love the structure of the movie, like the 3 chapters and like
for 39 years.
This is a banner year for Stephen King.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Like, they're just taking all.
Did you end up watching The Long Walk?
No, I didn't, but I heard great things. That's a good movie.
Very good. Yeah.
I literally want to take a road trip down to Maine and Portland and just to go see where all this.
And then Eddington, of course, is just like just such a well thought out kind of movie.
So this is what I actually wanted to most talk with you about and get your thoughts on, because I know we are a fan of Ari Aster. I didn't love Beau is Afraid. I've only watched it once though in theaters, and the second half I didn't love the second half. I loved the first half of the film though. But I watched this just under the wire a week before I feel like we ended up recording the episode, and it was in my honorable mentions. And I said with time, it probably would have made my list. This is basically, I had mentioned, like, this is like doom scrolling the film. Like, this is
that's
like,
a perfect,
it really was. Like, it encapsulated every horrible
I didn't think I was
thing.
watching a movie. I thought I was like, okay, I'm back in 2020. Like,
very impressive how he kind of like accomplished this and still was able to tell some sort of a story through it all.
It's very like thought provoking. I think I read something. I was reading a review of it or something, and people were saying like how this is like it was talking about how like the dangers of the internet, how like internet perception can literally just take over a small town that has nothing to do with anything that is going outside of that town, like all this George Floyd stuff and all that was happening nowhere near this town, but they're being affected by it, and it's kind of making them kind of like go crazy and shit. And that's like the power of the internet. People just on the internet too
What's it called? Think speak or no thought speak, like the thing, like it's basically like a hive mind mentality.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we're all like
and you're either on one side or the other side, and it's just like this way that like corporations kind of pit the public against each other and stuff.
Yes.
And at the end of the movie,
that was the thing that people thought when it first came out, that the Ari Aster was maybe trying to be political with it, but he was really showing both sides how horrible it was for both ends. I feel,
and
like,
he was showing who the
spectrum.
true villains are, like these corporate entities that only care about like. Was it like a data mine center that they were building? That was really like the whole point of this whole thing of throwing all these people into madness. And then one of the funniest things was in the movie. Well, not the funny thing, but it just like I was surprised how honest it was when he shows, I guess for lack of a better word, the Antifa group or whatever, and they're on a fucking private jet. Like they're like terrorists on a private jet, reloading their guns, waiting to come to town and like fuck shit up. And then there's like goes into this crazy like Bugs Bunny thing with fucking Joaquin Phoenix, and he's pulling out of the thing.
That is what I was most impressed was with the last like half an hour of the film when it shit just went like crazy, and I'm like, I didn't know Ari Aster had this level of action film in him. Like it is super impressive when somebody was sniping him out of nowhere and he's running around like trying to like survive in the middle of like the desert.
Turn that character makes halfway through is crazy. You're like, I didn't even know this was this guy. Like he kind of changes.
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
Like, it's shocking to watch.
Right.
Really, like very startling.
I think I need to watch it again. I was super impressed by certain aspects of it, but just the material was so like, oh man, I hated all this. Like it was like literally every kind of bad thing that was happening.
Creepy was Austin Butler and shit, and
as the cult leader. Yeah.
And then Emma Stone was like amazing, even in this small role as this like traumatized. She was holy shit, bro.
I honestly, I think I need some more time and I need to rewatch that one.
I've only seen it once, but that's why it's probably not like closer to my top 5.
It's definitely thought provoking.
It is, and it's like it's a movie that's never left me since I've seen it. Like, you know,
I just couldn't do it. But then when I saw it on your list, I was happy because I'm like, because I put it in my honorable mentions that I'm like, there's a really good film here. It's just like this was a tough watch because it was just like, but then like when I thought about it, like the way he kind of blended all of these things in, and then like the second half of the movie again, totally different kind of like film all of a sudden. Like it really was kind of lean more into like the Western aspects of it. You know what
it kind of reminded me a little bit of like, I think this type of movie, while I'm glad he made it, I think it came out maybe too soon.
Yes.
While there's still some kind of recency there, like where we kind of have like mixed feelings about what happened. Also, I don't think we truly understand what really happened to us in that year, like as a society or whatever. It kind of reminds me of like how soon they were to make like 9/11 movies after 9/11. Like Oliver Stone made a World Trade Center movie, and Paul Greengrass made like a 9/11 movie, and these movies didn't really like connect with people,
which is interesting though, because like a movie like One Battle After Another, which has a lot to do with what's going on in terms of immigration and stuff going on right now in the States, but that was the thing he started writing like 20 years ago or something, he said, and it was an adaptation of a novel, I think, as well, right?
Thomas Pynchon or whatever,
I think he co-wrote it or something.
It's the same writer who actually wrote Inherent Vice,
which I don't love.
Me neither. That's probably my least favorite PTA movie.
It's just interesting how that works, though. Is that's something that was relevant whenever he started writing it years ago, and it's still kind of relevant today.
I think one of the themes of that movie is that the problems that we face today are problems we've always been facing. Maybe just more attention is being blasted on it, but there's this really, I think the line to understanding the movie is the line that the Tiana Taylor character says before it like fast forwards in time. She says 16 years later and the world had changed very little, and so it's like all the issues of like all this, like, because they show that in the beginning of the movie, all this immigration and detention center and shit, and that was happening way back, like during Obama, even before Obama. Like
I always wonder, like with that kind of stuff, is it actually like, with society running the way it is, and then movies, is it the movies teaching society, or is it
art imitates life or life imitates art?
It's a mix.
But you know what?
Fucking weird.
You know what though? There's so much that happens in the world. It's almost like the news is creating what you care about, because it's like if they start talking about immigration, you're going to start caring about that. If the news starts focusing on this topic, then it's like they're kind of like directing your mind wherever you want to go. I mean, if you allow it to go, like, but the thing is,
and again, that is what was happening in Eddington as well. And they were driving the narrative.
It's almost the same story.
In Eddington, like within the same town, there's a whole scene where he gets swarmed. Joaquin Phoenix, like the movie gets to like a boiling point where he's basically being surrounded by masked people because of COVID, like with masking policies, BLM movement people, people that are like parts of a cult, people that are
it's like he's meeting all the baddies.
It's like every thing that was going on that existed on the internet during like peak COVID times that like were that people were reactionary to, like just in the society. And then there was like all these movements and stuff that were basically all fighting each other because no one agreed on the same, like, you know what I mean?
I think it's with Eddington is like 2020 almost felt like watching a movie, like in real time.
Like I said, this was doom scrolling the film. I just think it's impressive that he was able to encapsulate that and actually put it in a film somehow. Like it's like basically like think of when you open your phone and you look at social media. This is what the film was like.
I know.
It was.
I get what you're saying. I also feel like even I'm not gonna talk about any politicians.
No, we don't have to get into politics.
No.
But yeah, even nowadays, you're wondering if that's the only thing they do is they sit on the shitter and fucking read the news like we do. Right?
I also just love the title of One Battle After Another because I feel like it just describes what we are.
What's going
like
on
we just
in
like it's
life
just
now.
one issue after
Right.
another, and we're supposed to like we have to keep going on, like you said. Like
And we last a little bit longer than 4 years.
there was this really interesting YouTube essay I saw on One Battle After Another. It said it's called I think it's called No One Understands One Battle After Another. It was this guy's like reading of the movie, and he said that the movie is actually cut in 2 halves. And like in the first part, that's like the opening 30 minutes of it, that the Tiana Taylor character is like the main character. And then in the second half, it's like the Lockjaw character. Yeah. They're like the ones who are driving the narrative of the movie. And he was saying that like Tiana Taylor is like an analog for Obama, and Lockjaw is like an analog for Trump. And that like these are sort of like that's what they represent. Very interesting. And like the way he was explaining it was kind of like
I heard the Star Wars one.
The Star Wars too is it's like a Star Wars sort of like
he's Darth Vader, and there's the whole relation of her being his daughter. Because Lockjaw, that was his.
Who would Tiana Taylor be though?
See, I don't know who.
I guess there's not like a perfect.
I guess Leia Organa. It should be Leia, I guess.
Isn't Willa Layla like the princess that has to be saved or whatever?
Yeah, no, she'd be kind of. She'd be Luke.
She'd be Luke.
And Obi-Wan would be
Benicio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, but I there was just like they were saying like this guy was just saying, it was just describing about how like Tiana is not like a really good like let's kind of say it lightly. She's not a good person at all. But like
for the cause, she forgot about her daughter.
She's also like fake revolutionary.
Yes.
And she's like bringing fake change, and that was sort of like he was kind of bringing it back to Obama, because that's when that part one of that's when the beginning of the movie takes place, like 16 years ago, which would have been his presidency. How Barack Obama was always like, I believe in change, but nothing really changed.
But immigration stuff was going on then too.
He was just as harsh about it on it. So it's like, what is the difference between these two people?
True.
Nothing, right? So that's the kind of thing
that's interesting.
That the guy was kind of saying is one battle after another.
It's where you get the narrative painted. Right?
That's the thing. That's the same thing. Like with that's why they are very similar. A lot of people
things don't change necessarily. Like unfortunately, things like there's always going to be some form of what
like oppression and resistance, and we're kind of like all the victims of this. And then like that's why I think so much comparison has been made between Eddington and One Battle After Another. Like all the like,
I actually didn't ever make the comparison until now.
A lot of people, a lot of critics were just comparing the movies together, because I think they are kind of touching on this whole like two sides shit. Is like, don't get lost in that. There's
because you're going to be the pawn in that whole kind of situation.
You're playing,
you're buying into the narrative created by the public.
Question for you though is if you like if I liked the One Battle After Another, would Eddington be something that?
I think you would like Eddington.
One Battle After Another is way better. But
I personally, I think One Battle After Another. Another thing that for me, it's more
action. It's more intense the whole time.
Yeah, and like it's more funnier, I guess. But Eddington is a funny ass movie too.
Every time I think Leo's at his prime, man, he just takes it another step forward, man.
Eddington is very dark, bro.
There's a scene where one of these
after
kids,
fucking Jonah Hill's times,
there's a scene where one of these kids is preaching about something about white people, and then his parents turn around to him and they're like, "You're fucking white, you retard."
It's one of the funniest lines, bro. It brought the house down when we saw that.
And that's when I truly. What's that?
That was on Eddington.
Yes,
Eddington.
Okay.
You would probably like certain aspects of that
because it was making fun of all these like fake revolutionaries too.
Like about the Black Lives Matter movement.
There's
like that.
There's 3 cops in this town, and they're all police oppression. It's like you know the names of these cops.
And at first he's the anti-mask type of sheriff, but then as the movie moves on, he becomes more of the hero of the story. Like it's strange. It's very interesting.
I actually some villainous shit though.
I gotta watch it a second time.
That's I see that's where you can get the
Pedro Pascal. Actually, I liked a lot of it.
He was good in it. Yes. Because he was the more like liberal guy.
He was the politician, right?
Yeah, who doesn't, but it was like very like with the masks and everything else in LA.
They all want to jump the bandwagon. It's just the same thing like in the movies.
It's a very like dark movie. It's like very black humor, but like it was kind of touching on the same thing.
It's
I think
nerves though.
It is nerve wracking.
It's nerve wracking.
But I think One Battle After Another, it's
a much more enjoyable
watch, more optimistic in a way. Like,
but
is it suspenseful?
And I also think I just love like the choices PTA makes, like the car chase sequence and the
I love
camera.
how they showed
too.
the hill.
Yeah, the POV of the car. I just
yeah.
thought it was like, it's just PTA. He's just very inventive. Every
But that's
time he
his
makes
movie too as well, Eddie.
No, it's two completely
That's
different.
Ari
films.
Aster.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
Eddington is the guy who did Hereditary
and Midsummer.
and Midsummer.
Oh fuck.
So,
It's
Straight
fucked
up my
up.
alley.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
With
fucked.
my
You're gonna need a
fucking-
shower after you watch that movie. Like after all his movies.
I'm telling you,
No, I just roll around
it's
in
just
the film
taxing in a
sometimes.
different way.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to chat with you about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so those were some of your picks for your top 10. Oh, one more thing, Max, I wanted to ask you about. You threw in an honorable mention, which you must have just seen it, I guess, before you sent out this list. Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair. You caught it in theaters.
Yeah, it was good. That's how I like my local theater played it, and then just like
Awesome.
on a whim of a thing, me and Alan just went like
Sweet.
last second, and we went in the middle of
the theater you're thinking of.
we went in the middle of a snowstorm and shit too. But like it was just now in my street, so I was like, all right, let's watch this. And
Okay.
he hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen the movie.
You never seen Kill
He's
Bill?
never seen Kill Bill.
How was the extra material of the anime part? Like, 'cause that's what the
it's
extra
like,
part was,
yeah,
right?
I think that's really all that is. That's just like just the
I think
animated
that's the-
sequence. They added like an extra sequence, like another maybe 5 minutes to the
Did they
movie.
do the fight scene in black and white or in color?
In color.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
the original one was in black and white,
That's
right?
right.
Volume one.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like because he had never seen it, so his critique of the whole movie was just like it almost would be the same critique if you watch them separately, like the movies of like volume one, because there's like after volume one ends, there's an intermission,
Yeah.
and you walk out, you stretch your legs out, and then you come back, and you basically just watch.
So it
volume
really
two.
didn't add much to the experience in a
Not,
way.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
it's nice to see it all in one. If you can sit for 4.5 hours
Sure.
and watch a movie, I don't think everybody can do that.
Well, we did talk about both of them with Parth and
Yeah.
Julie on the show here.
But remember, like when I said, like when I guess my critique, when I said like not my critique, but like kind of my assessment is like volume one has most of the action, and then volume two has like kind of slows
That's
down
right.
a bit, and the story's up or whatever. He said the exact same
and
thing.
I preferred volume 2 to
Yeah.
volume 1, to be
You know
honest.
what?
with
And
you.
honestly, I feel like I don't hear that many people say that. I think
I
a lot
know.
of people like prefer volume, and I think preferred volume one because he's just like all this samurai
Because, like,
sword shit.
right.
Like it's hard not
Which
to
is
like
weird
that
because
shit.
you think that I would also
Yeah.
prefer that, but it's really, I told you, it's the
Michael Madsen.
Yeah,
Yeah, rest in peace, by the way.
I just love him in that film so much
Yeah.
that you get him in the second
one of
part.
me and him were just kind of going back and forth like the next day about it. He's like, oh, I don't like that like only Lucy Liu had like a origin and no one else had their backstories,
right.
and I'm like, do you want to sit in that theater for
That's
10
true.
hours?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can only divulge so
So
much
much.
time, you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like, so gonna have to pick your battles here.
Okay, so now that we're on the topic of Quentin Tarantino, I'm sure you knew I was going to
I know what
ask
you're gonna
this. All right, so while you were away, and we didn't talk about
The
this on the
Earth
show
show,
at all, I was waiting for you to come back to ask you about this.
5 months
listen,
later, the world
QT's our
hadn't
boy.
changed.
QT's our boy. Okay, all right. QT's our boy. You know that we are a defender of Quentin Tarantino on this podcast. What did you think of his comments on Paul Dano in Hollywood?
I was like super entertained by everyone else's reaction to
Yes.
it. Like I did not realize that like Paul Dano was like a sacred cow in our fucking world where
Right.
it's like because people were actually like really offended by
you
it.
know about the comments.
I heard the comment. I'm not particularly sure.
Here's
what's Paul
the
Dano.
thing.
I-
He
Here's
called
the
him weak sauce. He says
Yeah,
he's
he
the
said
worst
weak
fucking.
called him
like,
the limp dick of the set of
Yeah.
the
and
screen.
he goes,
He
it
said
would
he
have been
ruined-
one. Is it one battle?
He said
after
he was
another?
the flaw of There Will Be
There
Blood.
will be blood.
There will be blood.
which is
Yeah.
another Paul Thomas
yeah, it
Anderson
would have
film.
been in his top whatever.
It was in his top 10, but he said if
The
it wasn't
flaw.
for Daniel Day-Lewis saving the film, he said the film would have been ruined.
Well, he said
with
if
Paul
it
Dano or
wasn't for
something.
Paul
But
Dano,
where
it would
else?
have been
Paul
like
Dano.
higher on the.
Right, that's what it was.
Okay,
yeah.
here's the thing.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Here's the thing. So I had seen a video on YouTube, and I'll send it to you guys if you want. 16 years ago, Tarantino, like in 2009 when Inglourious Basterds came out, Tarantino went on British television and he did like a thing for There Will Be Blood where he like premiered it, or not like, I guess he like went on, it's like a movie channel thing where you sit down and you talk about the movie, almost like a TCM kind of thing. You
Well,
talked
he used
about
to do those videos every year
Yeah.
where he said his favorite films of the year. He used to do that. for
yeah.
them.
And that was like
Yeah.
he did it for them people, and he picked
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood. And so when he's giving his analysis of There Will Be Blood, he talks about how much he doesn't like Paul Dano in that like 16
Oh,
years ago. He
interesting.
said
I
this.
didn't see that.
I'll send it to you. He literally said-
Okay.
The thing is that he just said, oh, I don't like his performance. This time around, when he went on podcasts, he
really went in on
like
him.
fucking. It was almost kind of like mean. I feel like it was a little unnecessary.
So here's the thing, though, that I found it was interesting by people's reactions about this. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm surprised to see how
people were
everybody
like, "How
came into
dare
his
he
defense.
say this about Paul Dano?"
Here's the
I'm just
thing.
like,
This is why we like this guy to a certain degree, though. You and me. I'm talking about you and me.
Yeah.
He always speaks from
He's not
like
a politician.
not only that, and maybe some people think it's wrong, and I'll backtrack on what I say about this because he did go wrong somewhere with this, unfortunately, I will say. But it's more so about like I love that he speaks his mind like a fan of films.
Exactly.
And that is what I appreciate about him is that he's openly always been able to discuss this kind of stuff, even going on to do his podcast critiquing films and other people. But the problem is when you work within this industry, he should know a little bit better in the sense that like you can't just shit on this guy when you're still technically actively working.
You know what it
in
is?
the industry,
I
even though
think
he isn't.
A part of it is like I'm kind of on my way out, and also I have like enough tenure to be kind of like the old man talking shit now, kind of thing. Like
I kind of just laughed at it, quite frankly. I laughed at it. I was like, it was a little harsh.
I'm surprised how much how much people were talking about it. I was like, do you not know QT? Like this is kind of what he does.
I feel this is the most anyone's ever talked about Paul Dano, quite frankly.
Yeah,
even
I was gonna say, like, really? I mean, I'm just looking at his stuff.
Listen, I like Paul Dano, but I will say, after
he also doesn't ruin There Will Be Blood. I disagree with that.
He's just one of those hideaway characters.
He plays weird characters a lot. That's the thing. He plays certain weird characters.
Yeah, and I guess Tarantino's just not a fan of that type of character.
Weird.
Here's the thing: he's allowed to not like him in the film, but it's the way that he doubled. It's the fact.
Calling him a limp dick is just going too far.
But that's what I think we talked about this before. It's the way that he said it, not so much what he said.
Exactly.
Like it's the way that he doubled down and really drove it home.
Okay, but here's the thing.
How do you go back?
I feel like tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you had a problem when James Cameron was kind of like critiquing. So what's the difference? Like when James Cameron?
No, I didn't like when he did it either, and I don't like when QT did it either.
Okay. Because you just said like, well, we like it when Tarantino does this, but like, I guess we don't like it when James Cameron does it.
I don't know him as intimately as I do Quentin Tarantino. I haven't.
Or was he critiquing someone?
Also, James Cameron does a humble brag version of this. Let's be honest. It's more like
he does. It's more like
I wouldn't do it this way. Like, shut the fuck up. I know you love James Cameron. I'm just saying, like,
no. I just like because the thing is, like, Tarantino is not the only person who like opens his mouth. Ridley Scott does it. Spike Lee does it. Like a bunch of people.
We just talked about how much we love Ridley doing it too in our last podcast, right?
So I was just like, what's the difference?
No, you're right.
Cameron
you're right. That's just me hating.
But you know what I think it is? I think Cameron was critiquing.
He took shots at Papa Nolan. Yeah. We're like, hey, watch it. Sorry, I called him Papa Nolan.
Yeah. Wow.
I love it, bro.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I have a theory. I have a conspiracy theory about Tarantino's like There Will Be Blood critique.
Sure.
So first off, his whole reading of the movie I thought was like totally wrong. When he's like,
it was a weird thing.
It was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like he's talking about, it's a two-hander. No, it's a one-hander. But it's obviously not like because it's trying to be a two-hander. I'm like, no, bro, it's not. Like, at no point is Paul Dano like supposed to be competition to.
No, it's a one-man show.
It's a one-man show, absolutely.
And it's the evolution of that character.
Yeah, and literally, like the ending, kind of like fucking is the exclamation part of that. What I think Tarantino is doing here, and this is kind of like a little bit of a.
I've heard some theories about
a little bit of a bitchy thing he's doing. Is what he's doing is. There Will Be Blood, since it's come out, has been like praised as this masterpiece, and I think
he's trying to taint Paul Thomas Anderson.
That's what it is. It's not a shot at Paul Dano; it's a shot at PTA.
Well, kind of like he's jealous of Boogie Nights too. He fucking
like they're friends, they're artistic rivals, and he's like, okay, you all cannot like say this about someone's movie that I didn't make, like you know what I mean? So I think he's kind of just like in his way trying to take it down a peg, right? Like, oh, it's not that good. It's a 9.5, not a 10 kind of thing. You know, like. That's what he's doing.
I also had heard theories that there was somewhere along the line, some Paul Dano maybe did something to him, or like
he went on in Owen Wilson, which is I don't think people were upset as much with
Owen Wilson
because we know Owen Wilson doesn't really like do shit in his movies. Like,
yeah, you know there was him and one other person,
Matthew Lillard or whatever.
Matthew Lillard,
yeah, Matthew Lillard.
Again, he's a fan favorite guy, but no one's putting him up in the like.
I didn't think people were doing that for Paul Dano either, and like. the
No,
funny thing,
Matthew Lillard is beloved. Like people love Matthew
Paul
Lillard.
Dano.
No, Matthew Lillard.
Oh.
Obviously, they love.
But
Paul
I feel
Dano.
like people were more outraged at Paul Dano.
Yes.
Him saying that about Paul Dano.
Well, Matthew Lillard was sad because Matthew Lillard was. This is a guy that goes to like a lot of cons. He was in the original Scream. Like he does a lot of like these type of stuff with fans.
Yeah.
And he was at a panel and somebody brought it up and he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm just sad about that. Like I would love to work with Quentin Tarantino." It was just like he was just sad.
Yeah.
Like he was just like he's like, "I don't know why he doesn't like me. What do you want?" Like
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tarantino never made another movie.
Tarantino said that about me, I'd be crushed.
I wouldn't
like,
care.
As an actor, no, I would be upset. But that's how much admiration.
There's so many people who don't like Tarantino.
Oh, I agree.
You know, the thing is,
but he's always been outspoken like this.
Tarantino was like,
and I also don't ever also agree with everything he says. I don't, and his takes on stuff are sometimes wild takes.
You know what it is? When Tarantino was coming up, there was a French filmmaker that he's a huge fan of, like named all his shit after Jean-Luc Godard, and Jean-Luc Godard was always like shitting on Tarantino, like, "Yo, your movies are terrible."
Or Spike Lee shit.
Yeah,
Tarantino's
but like, yeah, exactly. But like, they were going in on him, and he looked up to Jean-Luc Godard so much. So I feel like this is like a the bullied kid becomes the bully kind of thing now. Like, it's just kind of like
you're doing the same shit that you didn't like when someone did it to you.
Yeah. I mean, Dano's getting his name talked about all the time now.
Yeah. And but you know the thing is with Paul Dano is like I like Paul Dano.
People have said that it was the best thing that ever happened to him because for once the internet actually like
defended him.
They all banded together and people were like, well, it was nice to know so many people like me. Like it actually had the opposite effect.
With Paul Dano, I feel like after There Will Be Blood, he basically like replayed that character.
Right. Yes.
And then I didn't really fall in love with his acting until The Fabelmans, when he just played like a more sweet and sincere.
You told me about that.
I was like, oh wow, this guy should have been nominated for an Oscar.
The best part about all of this, though, I gotta say, is George Clooney's comment, because we all know he basically just said, "I think he's a fine actor. I would work with him anytime," or something like that. But we all know how George Clooney hates Quentin Tarantino for working with him.
Remember what he said? Remember what Tarantino said about Clooney?
He's not a star.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
But that's why this was his opportunity to clap back and make a comment about him. And we all know Clooney doesn't like them since they worked together on fucking Dust Till Dawn.
I didn't know that they had a.
Well, it's that comment that really made it. So, and then he talked shit when he said that, and then he doubled down on this Paul Dano thing and says like that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like it was it was great.
I think Tarantino.
Seeing
Clooney come out of the woodworks for this, I was like, okay.
The thing is, Tarantino sat down, like we're sitting down, just talking shit, whatever,
laughing, on the podcast.
And didn't think like whatever about it. And
maybe he could have been having a bad day and just said something.
He's not someone who will ever shy away his opinion.
But that's what I love about him. So that's why I wasn't that upset by it. But I will say, it was a little unexpected. Like he really went in.
There are so many like actors I don't like. There's so many directors I don't like. Like
people that
other people love.
So let me leave you with this then. Despite his reputation for speaking openly as a fan of films and doing all this critiques and stuff like that he has done over the years, in terms of a professional arena, though, is it in bad taste to say what he did working in the industry still?
Is it in bad taste?
That's the question.
I don't know.
Should you or should you not? Like, I'm
in like 50-50. I mean, the thing is like this. If you think he's a bad actor, you're probably never going to work with him anyways, right? So did he really sever that bridge? Like, did he ever sever that connection?
No.
Like, he was never going to cast him in a movie.
Just a more personal image,
Is it like, is it impolite? Yeah. Is it like, like not...
actors are sensitive. People in the movie industry are sensitive. Actors are sensitive.
The most sensitive and the most insecure.
Artists,
the most insecure and shit. Like you saw that with Rick Dalton,
right?
DiCaprio was like,
that's what I mean. Knowing all that we know about that, I think he shouldn't have went in as hard as he did. Despite me like enjoying his commentary as always, but
I just think it's his personality. I think it's like same thing with like it's the same personality Ridley Scott has. Like he'll say what his shit. He'll say what he feels. Like
also, I didn't like the narrative that came out of the woodworks with fans that everyone started critiquing his acting because I'm like, come on now, like his acting. Not great. We all know this.
But they were saying that because he said he was the worst actor in SAG.
Right.
Like,
so then people were like, "Well, you're part of."
I mean, he isn't a great actor, bro.
No, I know that. But this is why I didn't like.
I think his fate is my best.
There was some hater. There's some haterade on that.
What's the one with Travolta there?
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah. That's the funniest part.
Like, bro, have you not seen these?
That I enjoyed.
Have you not seen these fucking athletes and these rappers act like
The Weeknd?
Yeah, like The Weeknd. Like you're calling really Paul Dano's worse than that guy. Like that's kind of like crazy. Like to say something like that.
That's accolades for fucking The Weeknd there. Fuck, he's
Yeah,
getting
I
off.
mean, it's I don't know.
Fuck,
It's just
that's what.
I'm going now. Or there was that. What was the weekend where he freaks out at General Tech?
yeah. Shut the fuck up, right? Like, I'm going away now, right? And the funniest, the YouTube comment was like, "Why is the weekend yelling at Wednesday or whatever?"
Oh my god. Now I know who you're talking
That's
about when
pretty
you say
good.
Ortigas.
Oh,
I fucking forgot who it was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's one
Doesn't bother
more
me.
topic I wanted to bring up with you at this
Let's
catch
get
up
it.
session. This has been a good conversation. Did you hear the news about the rewatchables going off of YouTube and going to Netflix exclusively
wow.
and Spotify?
When?
I never heard that.
Happened last week.
Last week? No,
They
I have
signed.
not.
I don't know if you've heard about this. Netflix is going into the arena of podcasts now.
Bro, they're going into the arena of everything, bro.
So all the video podcasts that are currently on YouTube, or maybe have other deals with Spotify in the case of The Ringer, he is one of the big people that has signed a deal with Netflix to now broadcast episodes of the rewatchables. There's been 2 episodes as of this week, along with The Big Picture and all the other shows that they do are now available on Netflix to watch. They are no longer uploading YouTube, other than short clips to YouTube of the rewatchables. So if you want to watch them now, you got to have a Spotify membership or you got to have Netflix.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
I mean, listen, they cut him a check.
Yeah, they got it back.
American
He got it
business,
back,
you know, like
right.
business goes on. I don't know. To be honest with you, I've kind of dropped off on watching them, to be honest. Their whole content. I just in the past few
I'm still a fan.
I've
watched them since they went to
I like
Netflix.
them, but I feel like just the last like 10 or 15 picks that they do, they just pick movies that I just kind of have no interest in. Like,
well, I'm glad you brought this up.
You know,
because of them going to Netflix
now they're
now.
gonna pick the bangers.
Because they're on Netflix now, they've dedicated the next couple months worth of content to movies that are available on Netflix.
Oh, so it's kind of like cross promotion and stuff.
But what I don't like about this now is there's like a bit of compromise in they're a bit compromised now in the sense that people like The Big Picture, that show, which shit on Netflix movies a lot of the time. Will their opinions still be the same? Will they hold their same genuine opinions because they're working for a company, right?
You compromise every time you accept money from someone. You know what I mean?
That's the problem, bro.
You're losing something, right? And
but you see what I'm saying? Like, will their comments on things and Netflix with the Netflix involvement still be genuine?
If they do like Netflix original movies, they'll probably like praise
showcase them or push them more now.
Yeah, possibly.
That's what I don't like about this whole thing. I don't care because it doesn't affect me. I'll watch them on Netflix. I know a lot of people that refuse to watch them on Netflix, even though they have a Netflix account. They're like, why am I watching this podcast on Netflix? I'd much rather it on YouTube. I just think you're going to close out a big portion of your audience that watches content on YouTube. YouTube's king in that regard. I don't know why you would
that is.
But I think YouTube's going to end up losing a lot of stuff. These other companies are going to start taking over everything.
All these rap podcasts went to Netflix now. The Joe and Jada, no, not Budden. Joe and Jada did Rory and Mal or whatever. Yeah. All these.
Oh, I can't wait to get. No, let me get a Netflix account right now, bro.
Right, but this is what I mean. If you weren't that crazy about these things to begin with, why are you gonna go on Netflix and watch them? Right, like it's really
that is weird to watch it on Netflix. I'm thinking now I have to log into this whole thing just to.
So I mean, if you have Netflix on your phone, it's not the worst thing in the world. I have Spotify, so I've still been watching the rewatchables. I've still been keeping up with their shows. But I don't love it. I'd rather it be on YouTube, quite frankly. I think it's a bad move.
Talking about. Sorry, just quick tangent. What I loved about Tarantino's whole thing was he did like the he gave him like on that podcast he gave like a top 20 or whatever, and he just did it off the dome. And I was like amazed that he put Black Hawk Down at number 1.
Yeah,
I never even seen that movie.
I've never even heard him talk about that movie.
And I kind of want to check it out. Yeah, it's a really Scott film. He said it was the number 1. And he's like, I'm not gonna go on Google and look up the greatest movies. I'm just gonna go off the dome. That fucking listen, I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I know we're little fish compared to the rewatchables people, but like that fucking thing that Sean and Amanda did, I feel like was the most pointless list I've ever seen. Like the 25
of the century,
and all they did was just pick all the movies that people jerk off to, like In the Mood for Love.
Well, here's where your boy Bill comes through. His list
was way better. It
was so personal to him. He was throwing picks out there, and Sean's just like, really? You put this in your top 25? He's like, yeah, I love it. He's like, which one do you put in? Limitless. He's like, Limitless in my top 20 or whatever. Like, just like,
I'm just curious, like if I ever met Sean, I'd be like, how often are you watching In the Mood for Love? Like seriously, like, or are you just being like kind of like a film.
Yeah,
like
it was more for the
film geek kind of thing.
The only thing I'll say about some of their picks, though, too, apparently it was between they had to pick between their two votes towards things. So there's a lot of things I guess I got left off the list that he would have rather or she would have rather because they. I
remember when they picked Oppenheimer. I guess they were doing one director per thing or whatever, and they picked Oppenheimer. And then like I feel like half that episode they were talking about how. Like it should have just been Dark Knight, and I'm just like, then why didn't you just pick the Dark Knight? Like, this kind of just, I just feel they were
swayed by their opinions. It seemed like for the film community,
their opinions just didn't feel like real opinions. They just felt very
Bill's
weird.
did.
Yeah, and that's what and Tarantino's did. Like that's what I like when people do like lists like that. So I was just kind of like getting turned off. Well, that's the thing. I
don't ever pick picks for the show that we do out of like, hey, we need to make it because it's an important film.
Yeah,
I pick movies I like.
Exactly.
Like, sometimes I'll throw something out there that I think might be interesting to talk about, or they're timely because somebody had died recently. But
he kills them off.
Yeah, so JT mentions that they're
fucking Reaper over here.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say is I hope you didn't speak about Catherine O'Hara recently because that news.
I told you I watched Home Alone on the weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. This guy's
happened.
Only pick movies from like the 30s, bro. Like where all those people involved in the movie are like.
What was that for Sopranos when he says Nostradamus? He calls him
Quasimodo.
Quasimodo, yeah. Quasimodo predicted all this. It's Nostradamus. Yeah, he's like, what's wrong with you? It's Nostradamus, not Quasimodo. Quasimodo was Notre Dame. Yeah,
the football club or whatever the fuck he's like.
Bobby Bacala. He's like, Quasimodo predicted all this. This is our Quasimodo over here. This fucking guy.
Yeah, man. So
hey.
I don't know. Netflix is interesting. I don't know. I don't know.
I know we've mentioned rewatchables on here before, so that's why I kind of just want. This is news in the world of like.
I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way. If they say they're on Netflix, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. But then I also had like a bunch of like websites like bookmark that has like I guess they're like not official like podcast distributors or whatever, and they have all their like episodes archived, and you can just like listen to them like. Not on like an official.
I'm sure someone's gonna port these episodes off.
People are still gonna be able to watch them somehow, like even if they don't have Netflix. Just like when you watch when a Netflix movie comes out, it's on the torrent.
I just think it's such a corporate sellout fucking movie.
Do you know how much the bag was?
Dude, no, they didn't say.
Okay,
it's gotta be huge.
Stupid,
he kept his Spotify partnership. That's how desperate they are for good podcasts over there.
On Netflix?
On Netflix.
So Netflix thinks people want to watch podcasts.
It's a new venture.
Shit. Like,
it's a new venture.
Not? They're doing everything. They're doing fucking. They're trying football. They're trying.
That is true.
Right.
They're trying sports, wrestling,
concerts. Concerts.
Yeah, they're doing it with Prime's doing it too with hockey.
I just don't think that podcasts. I think that's a venture they shouldn't venture into. Personally, live events I get. Events,
I get it, but I'm saying they're taking.
Listen,
everything's going to be held by net streaming corporations.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. You know that, like they probably like looked at the analytics and like we're not making that much money on YouTube, probably. So let's just go on Netflix.
And they've learned that people have cut cable years ago, man, and they're just.
That's why on YouTube though.
But that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's when they're trying to get it back somehow from us.
Listen,
whether we have to
all kinds of people signed up for it. Like I'll tell you that, like not like to watch
sad,
these,
but
like
they're just trying to take it
back. The podcasts themselves, a lot of people got signed deals because of this. Yeah. What do they care if they go and do it a year and it doesn't work out for them? They'll just go back to YouTube. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
YouTube is kind of like the great equalizer in that sense. It's like for the people. I mean, I guess it kind of got sold out too.
It just seems dumb because not all their episodes are up there yet. They're not all available on there. First of all. Okay. And then second of all, I just think they're going to be compromised to talk about and make decisions based off the films that are on Netflix now. Yeah. But I will say Bill Simmons and everybody involved in those shows is going to get much interesting more interviews out of this though. Because like, for instance, Damon and Affleck, who just did The Rip on Netflix, boom. They're promoting it on Netflix. All of a sudden, they're doing the tour of podcasts that are available on Netflix. Of course. They'll get guests easier now.
You know what though? They kind of shill for their guests anyways. Like on YouTube, like when they have like interview like whoever like that just made a movie and they go, "This was a great
yeah."
I don't know if I haven't seen it, so I'm not trying to be like mean. But Highest to Lowest, I heard a lot of people didn't like that one. But Sean Fennessy was like basically like Spike, this was so good, and
because he wanted to speak to Spike Lee,
right?
That's
what I'm saying. So they're gonna do that shit on Netflix.
That I understand. That I understand. I understand. That I
I know, I
understand.
mean-
They're already kind of doing it like
Yeah.
on YouTube. So
Yeah, I mean, if I had Quentin Tarantino here and we were interviewing him, I'd be like, Death Proof, my favorite.
Yeah. masterpiece. But you know what? Even Tarantino says like that's my worst movie. So,
Yeah.
like he's very like honest about.
He's
shit.
a guy I think you could objectively say like,
Uh.
and he would respect you for it. That one I didn't really get with, but then he might also be like, "Fuck you, man!" Like
Yeah,
he
no,
might bust
but-
out the
But
accent.
you know, he'll like get into the whole fan geek out shit too, and it's kind of like, yeah, like I'd love
Right.
to talk. Like,
But
geek
that's
out
what I
with
like
you,
about him, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But so there you go. That's kind of where the topics that I really had for you for the catch up. I wanted to review the top 10. I wanted to go over some like the QT news and of course the rewatchables because I know that's like in the realm of things we usually have talked about here on the show somewhat, right? Jay, is there anything you wanted to catch up with Max about in terms of
No, it was just nice seeing you for fuck's
Nice.
it
sake.
was
Sure,
nice.
thanks,
Yeah,
bro.
this
You
is
I
guys
haven't
good.
seen you
too,
since
man.
before
It's
the
been too long.
holidays, so it's been too long. It's been nice now that
It's been
you know.
fun getting.
I had
the
those
crew back
burning
together.
questions about movie stuff though. I wanted to chat with him
Yeah.
about. I don't know if I had anything else written down. Is there anything you wanted to touch on though before?
Yeah, you know me. I have more real life
I guess
drama.
like a lot of the stuff that we will talk about, we'll just talk about like the
Yeah,
what
watching
we're
the Star
what we're
Trek.
looking forward most in the year and all that. Like that will just be saved for later.
Stay
stuff,
tuned
but-
for those episodes
Yeah.
that'll be coming out after these.
an Academy Award
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
those are their next couple of episodes. And honestly, I would
That's
really
really-
like to at some point in the new year do another draft. I had a lot of fun
Mm.
doing that first draft that we did. Hopefully we get to do another one of those.
Yeah,
at
that
some
would be
point.
fun.
That was a
Well,
lot of fun.
There's gonna be a lot of
putting those
stuff coming
together.
out this year too. So
Hmm?
there's a lot of stuff coming out. It's already on a list of stuff, the shit that's coming out this year to watch.
in 2026.
Yeah, oh, yeah, so-
Should
It'll be
good.
it should be an interesting year. Like there's already stuff that's already hitting my radar quick. Whether I get a chance to watch them or not.
That's a different story.
Yeah, hopefully I like the stuff. I mean, maybe I watched more movies this year than last year, so hopefully
I know I did. I watched more
hopefully I
than I
like
did last
I
year.
like this year's stuff.
I killed it this year.
I actually really
watched
like-
over 60 films that came
That's
out
impressive.
in 2026.
That's
I,
alone.
I,
Just
I made an
alone in
effort.
2020.
although I did also didn't want to get
2025,
into
you
the
mean?
yeah, sorry, 2025.
Yeah,
But I also didn't want to get into the realm that you had mentioned before when you were back on Letterboxd years ago. You almost lost enjoyment because you were trying to like make
In
it a game
Letterboxd.
almost in terms of
Letterboxd,
like
yeah.
watching things. Just
not
for the
watching
wa-
movies, but being on Letterboxd. And I kind of,
okay.
if you guys notice, I don't even go on Letterboxd that often anymore either,
No.
because I just kind of,
We did it for the show, and then that
What-
was like it's
you know,
staying,
it's like
right?
once you don't do it for a week, you kind of just don't even go back to it, kind of thing.
I
for
still
me.
use it because I just use it as a handy way of keeping track of what
To
I've
log your
watched.
stuff.
Honestly,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I find it a useful tool, but I'm not on there like post. I'm not
Yeah.
making comments a lot of time.
Or
Every
buying
now
that
and then
extra
I'll
membership.
write something, but
You know,
Or
the
buying
thing
that
is,
extra membership. You know?
the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, I like it, and it's a good site to use to like discover new stuff and also see what your friends are doing and stuff. But it's like,
we have this too. Like I like discussing it
this
with
is
my
better.
friends
That's,
anyway.
That's why I prefer it way more too. So
Right.
like the thing is like with Letterboxd is like I also don't even use any social media. Like I'm not really.
No, I know.
That's what Letterboxd kind of is. It's
Yeah.
like look at me, I like this
Right,
shit. Like you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
It's just like that's not really my personality,
No,
anyways. So I
no.
just kind of like
No,
avoid that shit.
right?
You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's like I only use it.
Look
as
at
a
me. I
tracking
saw
tool.
fucking like Sean Fantasy. I saw this movie 2 days before I hate that guy. I love him, but fuck him at the same time, bro. Like
He's good at his job. I'll give him that.
he is really like rubbing like his shit in people's faces when he like logs like a thing.
You know what's funny though? Like the other members of the Ringer, they refer to him in the same way though, in terms of him being the
the
snob.
king of
Like,
Letterboxd.
yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
Like he
Like
says
Bill-
ironically.
But that's the thing. I think it's become an ongoing joke
Yeah.
even within their universe that he's the more like snobby kind of film critic guy, like in a way, right? Like
Yeah, I always kind of like Bill was kind of like my go-to.
he's the most
I feel
laid
like, I
back.
feel like he's kind of like missed the last couple episodes, or I don't know. If,
No.
I know he's on there.
Yeah. he's-
So have you watched it on Netflix?
I have.
Yeah, and
Because I
what
have
is
it on my phone.
is the experience
It's
worse
the
or
exact same thing.
so it doesn't matter
yeah,
really?
it's
You know?
the exact same
Yeah.
thing. It honestly is. So, but I mean, it is what it is. So, all right, then. I guess that'll do it for this one, this catching up with Max session. So stay tuned. We are going to be discussing upcoming episodes. We're going to be doing After Hours as our next movie pick.
Great pick.
We just did Blade Runner. Make sure to go check that out. And we're also going to be discussing our predictions for the upcoming Oscars for 2026, as well as what we're looking forward to watching in 2026. So yeah, stay tuned for those videos. That'll be a lot of fun. And make sure to like and subscribe. And
All right.
thank
Peace,
you.
guys.
It's good to get together in person
Good to
again
be
do
back.
this. This is good. So you still awake there, live there?
Oh,
Dave?
yeah.
Sean Fantasy,
I'm
if you
getting
see,
tits
I mean,
wet.
he's not gonna see this, but if you see this, it's all love, bro. I mean, I didn't mean to like Tarantino you like.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
good, bro.
exactly.
You're good, bro.
Sean Fantasy is the worst podcaster on the internet. Look at this guy. No, all right.
The lip dick of
Yeah,
fucking-
exactly. Of the
rewatchable.
rewatchables. All right, guys.
Oh my
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace.
Later.
All right, peace out.
Welcome to the show, everybody.